I've gone through here and just done a little research, and for Todd, for instance, here's bioinformatics. I'm sure he's heard of some of these things, but there's apparently a lot of work in bioinformatics of distributing some of the bioinformatics algorithms across Hadoop clusters. There's my Hadoop project at the San Diego supercomputing cluster, which is one of the many attempts or approaches as how do you take an existing HPC cluster and plop Hadoop on top of it so that you can use Hadoop to attack problems that are not massively parallel kinds of problems. There's another experiment, a number of experiments actually going on with Hadoop using Lustre instead of HDFS for the underlying file system. Because if you think about it, if you have a flat file system like Lustre with 40 gigabit network links, you don't have to do that data shuffling. There's some tricks that you can do and just sort of remap where the data is so the nodes can start processing their data and getting it directly from Lustre without it actually being moved from one system to another. And then one of the latest things is what happens if the Hadoop nodes also have GPUs? And it turns out there's a lot of articles on this, which again takes which takes typical HPC clusters that have Hadoop have GPUs in them, and can use these GPUs for processing. Turns out in that environment, you don't need anywhere near as many nodes, especially if your jobs are CPU intensive. Hadoop and MapReduce have been used for surface temperature modeling. I reference a paper there. And the CUSP project, which is just starting, and we're about to have the new director of CUSP named within a couple of days, is a smart city project. And smart cities will be generating lots and lots of data that are going to need Hadoop-like technologies to process it. So my takeaway here is that these big data approaches are applicable to many types of university research projects, including both the social sciences and the hard sciences. Our students need some big data exposure. The jobs are absolutely exploding for people with big data experience, and there are very few people out there. I can talk about that maybe next fall. We've done some research there. Existing HPC installations can actually easily accommodate big data software and applications with good performance. In fact, I think Sheng over at the NYU HPC cluster already experimented a little bit with running Hadoop on top of it. But the bottom line is I think NYU needs a plan for big data. We need a university-wide look at big data and not just what it can do for the hard scientific research, but curriculum, training, education, research in the soft sciences, social sciences, whatever. Well, that's the end of my presentation. I'll be glad to talk about this next fall at our first meeting and see what people think. Thank you very much.